Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Super happy to be with you. I was visiting with a friend and client the other evening. There was a bunch of different people together for a gathering, and it was a great group. Had a wonderful time, and it was a fairly wealthy group of people. And one of the conversations that came up was we were in Dubai, and so a lot of these people had relocated to Dubai from various different parts around the world, and we were talking about where are the places that you can go and live. And in particular, if you are somebody who is quite wealthy, right? So let's call this like where wealthy people go to get high quality of life and optimal tax, okay? What you're gonna find is there are really only three places that are highly attractive to go for most people. Now, this does not mean that all people go there. This does not mean that you can't go elsewhere. It doesn't mean that other people don't go elsewhere. But for people who are, let's call them ultra high net worth, there are typically three countries, and really only three countries, that stand out as checking all of these boxes. And I'm going to talk to you about them today. Before we do that, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the all notification bell. Thank you for your support. If you'd like help with international tax optimization, relocating to other countries, setting up your global corporate structure, please reach out to us. You can book a call, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below, or send a message through offshorecitizen.net. There's also a link in the description below. All right, so quick question for you guys, quick little quiz. Where would you think are the three places that stand out as really the only three options that meet this high quality of life, low tax, like super optimal tax for ultra high net worth people? Okay, so please note, you're obviously not trying to optimize for cost of living in that situation, because that's a relatively small part of the equation. It's more about quality of life and optimal tax. And usually you're going to be talking about earning income largely through investments in this particular situation. So if you had to guess three places, put them in the comments below. What do you think they are? So I think it's probably no surprise to think, again, we've got three of these places. The first one is a place that, surprise, surprise, I am here at the moment, and that is the wonderful United Arab Emirates, in particular Dubai, although some people do like to go to Abu Dhabi. There's even a few who will end up in some place like Sharjah or Ras Al Khaimah. Maybe will become more popular. They're building a casino there, but mostly it is Dubai. And this is, I would say, kind of like the new haven for wealthy people. It has reached the point where most of the major concerns people had, such as extremism in culture, such as lack of human rights, lack of rules to protect people, etc. Most of these things have been dampened such that people say, well, actually, I find the culture to be quite fine. It doesn't affect me in a negative way at all. It's quite nice. People are warm and welcoming. The rules that used to be much more extreme are really not anymore. They've improved that a lot. And frankly, they've elevated the quality of things to do such that there's really almost everything you could imagine, including even in some cases people miss nature, and you can go and you can live in areas like, for example, Al Barari, which is basically like living in a garden. It's really actually super nice and green. A lot of people don't really know that. So this is the number one place for sure that people will look at in this situation, and it's attracting lots and lots of people. There are tons of people moving to UAE. It also helps that it's easy to relocate to UAE. So that is number one. The second place, and I'm going to go in order of popularity here, meaning where are the places that people are actually relocating to now, would be Singapore. Okay? Now, Singapore on the surface is not a zero tax country. There is up to 24% personal tax. The corporate tax is 17%. However, there are two things that tend to work in its favor. Number one, there's no capital gains tax, and there's no tax on a lot of dividends. Okay, so right off the bat, this means if you're earning investment income, you can often earn that income tax-free, which is great. Second of all, you can, if you have a certain amount of wealth, set up a private family office, and there's a special tax regime for setting up family offices. Now it's fairly high minimum. However, that being said, for a lot of people, it's perfectly viable. And I'll do a separate video specifically on that family office structure, but that ends up being tax exempt as well. So the combination of those structures can make it so that a person can live in Singapore and have basically zero tax if their income is principally from these sources of capital gains, well, basically investment income. And frankly, even when you have earned income, there's ways to optimize it so that you shouldn't be paying too much tax. So that's really attractive. On top of this, like UAE, super safe, super clean, everything works, very non-bureaucratic, very streamlined, ease of doing business, people are friendly, easy to get around, easy to get things done. Weather is pretty good, although granted quite humid, and you may have issues with air quality depending on kind of your situation, but certainly one of the top places in the world. I mean, Singapore is, you could debate the best country in the world or the best city in the world by some people's metrics. So that's number 2. The third, you might have guessed, is arguably the old playground for the rich. It is losing favor. I have clients who are moving from there to Dubai principally, just like actually I have clients quite often moving from Singapore to Dubai. It's sort of attracting everyone into the nexus. And this place is Monaco. So Monaco was known for a very long time, of course, as the haven for the wealthy, zero tax. You could basically have enough money to get residency there and it would be not too difficult. They wouldn't give you any issues. Businesses actually are taxed pretty highly there, but for individuals, they are not. And so for somebody who is selling their company, they're going to live off investment income for the rest of their life, and they're looking for a place that has a high quality of life. I mean, look, you're in the south of France region, it's beautiful, the weather is good, there is relatively, I wouldn't say as much safety as Dubai or Singapore, but certainly quite safe, quite clean, things work quite well. The downside of it, of course, is the population is much smaller, so there's just less going on. It's much more kind of claustrophobic, and so some people would prefer not to have that very tight environment. Real estate prices are insane, right? Very, very high. They're actually, interestingly, this is kind of in reverse order, right? They're the highest in Monaco, then second highest in Singapore, then lowest out of these 3 in UAE. Dubai probably being a bit higher than Abu Dhabi. So, there's those trade-offs. But I think what I've heard mostly from clients is it's just kind of the lack of things going on in Monaco that makes people leave. They say the quality of life is wonderful, they really like it, but I see less and less people going there and more opting towards places like Singapore and UAE. However, it's still one of those places. And so this was kind of the discussion. This was, among the people around the table, kind of the consensus of the 3 places they would consider. So, perfectly happy to help you go to any of those places, depending on what your situation is. If you're in need of a new place to relocate to and you're looking for safety, you're looking for high quality of life, you're looking for some place maybe that's family friendly, and you're looking for some place that can optimize your tax, these would be the 3 highest places that other people would recommend. Now, I'm going to give you a quick bonus, which is, of course, a lot of people relocate to UK under the non-dom regime. So that is a little bit of an anomaly. I would say, yes, some people could go to Malaysia, or they could go to Thailand, or they could go to, Bahrain, or they could go to, some Caribbean island. They don't tend to. The quality of life tends to be lower. They tend to, those places are perfectly good. We have lots of clients who move to those types of places, but I would say people in this particular category that I'm talking about tend not to. And the one place that they would traditionally also go is UK under the non-dom. The non-dom, unfortunately, has an expiration, and the fact that you have to worry about ultimately remitting at some point means it's probably a temporary solution for most people. But that being said, it is kind of a bonus that gets hit. Ireland could be the same, but usually it just doesn't offer enough. In general, people seem to prefer to go to UK. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you got it right. Put that in the comments below as well, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video.